Well, good day everyone. I'm just going to go through SketchUp for Schools and just to help you get started. Now, I'm going to create new. Now, if I come to this one here and click on that, see it'll come down and you'll have your millimeters. So it's probably a good idea to create new. If you don't, when you come in here, it starts to draw in feet and inches. That's the sort of the default one. But anyway, now we're inches here, and you can always check over here on the eye for your information. And see, we've got millimeters. Now, if I just clicked on create new, it would have been up there in that 1/2 inch format, but that's okay. Right, so we're away. This is just going to be a quick introductory one to get you started. I'm going to look at the tools on this side. Now, if you hover over the top, see how it's got eraser, paint. I'm not going to look in those, you know what they like. And if you click on that little triangle, you get different options. So we can work those out. Now we've got our pencil. I'll be drawing. That's one of the most common tools we'll be using. And you can see these are straight lines and these will be squiggly lines. I don't think I've ever used that one. So we will be drawing lines with the pencil. This one is if you want to draw an arc. And see, once again, if you hover over it, okay, it's got unlocked plane. That's for something different there. See, 2-point arc, 3-point arc. So we're not going to be starting with those, but that's what they are. Here is your rectangle. And if you click on that once again like that, you'll get the rectangle. This one's called a rotated rectangle, which is pretty cool, but I'm not going to fiddle with that around today. We've got our circle. We've got polygons, so you can draw anything from triangles up to however many sides you want. You just tell it how many sides you want, and it'll do that for you. Now I'm just going to draw a rectangle now, and all I do, come down here, just click it, drag it, and then release it. Now, if you look down here on the bottom right-hand side, see it's got sizes, 2257, 5994. Now, you don't have to highlight that or anything. If I now type in, say, 200, see how it's changing down the bottom there, comma, 300, and enter. So see it's drawn that little rectangle there. Now, that picture of the lady on the screen, that's to give you scale. So about 300 is about the length of a foot, so that you can see that's about the same size as a foot there. Now I'll get rid of her, just select it and delete. But there's my little rectangle that I've drawn. I'll just leave that there for a moment. And I'm zooming in using a 2-finger scroll there, but I think a lot of trackpads and computers are different, so you'll just have to work out which one works best for you. Now this tool is pretty good. I like one of my favorites, the push-pull tool. Click. Now you've got the options there, but I'm just going to use this one for now. So you see how when I go onto it, it gets dotted, and then I'll just drag it up. Now, if you look down the bottom, the number pops up. I'm not going to worry about numbers today, so I'll just leave that as it is. And I might just come back here and draw a circle, just to show you bits and pieces how it works. So if I put a circle there, once again, I'm not going to measure anything. Now I'll get the push-pull tool, and this time I'm going to push that through, hit the back, and see how it snaps onto the back there. That's telling it how deep you want it to go. Your other option would be to type how deep you want to go. But if you don't do that, see how it just sort of hangs out the back. So if I was right in that corner, sometimes you get funny ones, so make sure you click on a surface there, on edge, and then when we have a look at that, so you can see the hole goes straight through it. Okay, now this one is called outer shell. I have never used it, so I'm not going to bother trying to pretend I know anything about it. These ones we'll use all the time though. Move, so like move, if I select that, get the move tool, no surprise here, it'll move. All right, so you can move things around on the screen with that one. But if I go into that there, the other options, and we will use these all the time. Rotate, so if you want to turn something around, and scale. Now, some people get stuck with how those things work. That's why if we come over to this side, and see it's got that little scholar's cap, if I click on that, so at the moment, I've got the move tool selected. So see it's over here, it's got all the instructions and tips and shortcuts and things on how to use the move tool. Whereas if I click pencil, then it changes to the line tool and it tells how to do that one there. So that is very handy, particularly when you're learning these ones. But I'll shut that for now. This one is way to walk around the screen, look at it in different ways. I won't worry too much about that. And this one is the one that I used before, Orbit, which is that where you can where you look around and move around your screen. But in there as well, there's zoom in, zoom that box. So if you just draw a box, if I go that one, draw a box there. See, it just zooms in on that bit. So these are handy too when you're looking at your drawing and trying to work out what you're looking for, different ways of looking for it. So that's the main things on those sides. You use them all the time. If you come to this side, I'm not sure about that one. Information, so like I said before, I looked at that. It has all the info and your measurements and that sort of stuff. Yeah. This one has got a set of glasses. That's just for ways to look at the screen. So if I turn that one, the axes off, watch what happens. See those red, green and blue lines disappear? The section cuts, these hidden objects, you'll get to know them. Don't worry about it too much now, but that's what that's about. The glasses is the way to look at the screen. This next one with that little clapperboard, if I click those, that one, that's going to look down on top of it. And see how it sort of moves around. So we will be using this one a lot as well. All right, and just to show you the difference here, that's in perspective. See how the back of it, the circle looks smaller as you're looking through it. So it's in perspective, if you remember that from art. This one is parallel projection. Watch what happens. Okay, so that just means it's a two-dimensional drawing that goes straight through, which we will be using later on. Okay, moving on. This one, tags. I'm not sure, I won't worry about that one. This one we'll use. This has different styles. Now if I just orbit this around a little bit, whoops. Sorry, I'm going to have to go back to this one, turn the perspective back on, orbit that around a little. Now, that's right, styles. Now there's a whole stack of styles there and different ways you can make your screen look. But if I go to default, and this is just one that I use all the time, that one's called X-ray. And watch what happens there. See how you can now see the detail through the whole thing. And we use that sometimes too when you're joining bits and pieces together. So that's a handy one to have the X-ray. But all the other ones are just different ways to make your drawing look different, and you can set them up. And if you prefer that, that's fine, but it doesn't matter. So that's those. These ones are if you wanted to color it. So, if I wanted to make that there, that's fine. On this side, if you go here, you get different materials. So if I wanted to say, make that one look like a piece of glass, and so you can see the detail in it. So if you're drawing things as a whole stack, we often use wood when we're drawing things for the workshop. Okay, so that's all of them. This one, 3D Warehouse, I won't worry about that. That was the instructor, as I said before. Now, as I said, use these ones mostly, but it's handy. As we start to become familiar, you will pick up and use some of these things all the time. That might do for starters, so good luck. We'll see you later on.